Candace Owens, a name that has stirred strong reactions from all sides of the political spectrum, was born on April 29, 1989, in Stamford, Connecticut. Raised primarily by her mother, Lori Owens, Candace's early life wasn't one of privilege or wealth. Her father, Robert Owens, was absent for most of her childhood. Despite this, Candace's mother made sure that she was never short of love or life lessons. Candace's mother was her guiding force, a role model of resilience who worked tirelessly to support her family. But it was her paternal grandfather, Robert Owens, who had the greatest impact on shaping Candace's views on race, resilience, and identity. Raised in the segregated South during the era of Jim Crow, Candace's grandfather shared harrowing stories of the challenges he faced, including encounters with the Ku Klux Klan. These stories of courage and survival laid the foundation for Candace's views on race and politics. By the time Candace was 9 years old, she had moved in with her grandparents, who provided her with additional support. Her upbringing was rooted in a strong sense of family, hard work, and never giving up, even when the odds were stacked against her. Candace Owens attended Stamford High School, where she showed an early interest in academics, particularly journalism. After high school, she enrolled at the University of Rhode Island, pursuing a degree in communications and journalism. But college life didn't go as Candace had expected. Surrounded by liberal ideologies, she began to feel out of place. At the time, the political discourse on campus was overwhelmingly progressive, and Candace, who had always been a critical thinker, started questioning the conventional wisdom she was being taught. Candace's frustration with the culture of political correctness and the suppression of opposing views led her to start questioning her own beliefs. As she navigated through her college years, Candace became increasingly vocal about her dissatisfaction with the prevailing ideology. This conflict with her professors and fellow students pushed Candace to leave the University of Rhode Island after her junior year. Though she didn't finish her degree, the experience marked a turning point in her life, pushing her to seek out her own path in life, away from the constraints of academia. After leaving university, Candace began her professional career in the corporate world. She worked in public relations and later moved on to various jobs in media and marketing. However, despite a relatively stable job, Candace couldn't shake the feeling that she wasn't fully living up to her potential. She had always been passionate about politics and social issues, but it wasn't until 2016 that Candace started to find her voice. In 2016, Candace launched a blog where she shared her thoughts on various issues, ranging from politics to social justice. Her blog started off expressing more left-leaning views, but as time went on, Candace's political ideology shifted dramatically to the right. She grew disillusioned with the progressive narrative and began to embrace conservative values, rejecting what she saw as the dangers of identity politics and political correctness. This shift in her views was the catalyst for Candace's transformation from a corporate professional to a political commentator. She started to challenge the mainstream narrative, writing about issues like race, freedom of speech, and the impact of liberal ideologies on American society. Candace's big break came in 2017 when she joined Turning Point USA, a nonprofit organization focused on advancing conservative values on college campuses. Her role as communications director allowed her to engage with young people who shared her views on free speech, limited government, and the need for a change in how race and identity were discussed in America. At Turning Point USA, Candace quickly became a prominent voice, participating in debates, speaking at rallies, and making appearances on conservative media platforms. She was a fiery advocate for conservative principles, using her platform to call out the excesses of the left and the rise of identity politics. Candace's ability to speak directly to the issues facing young conservatives in America made her an instant sensation in political circles. But Candace didn't just stay in the background. She took center stage with the launch of Blexit, a movement that sought to encourage Black Americans to leave the Democratic Party. Candace's challenge to the status quo and her belief in empowering individuals over relying on government intervention resonated deeply with many, especially those who felt disillusioned with the way Black communities were being politically represented. The launch of Blexit in 2018 was a pivotal moment in Candace Owens' career. The movement called for Black Americans to break away from the Democratic Party, encouraging them to explore alternative political ideologies that focused on personal freedom, entrepreneurship, and self-reliance. Candace believed that the Democratic Party had historically failed to deliver for Black communities, and she wanted to spark a change. The campaign was polarizing. To her supporters, Candace was a trailblazer, showing Black Americans that they didn't have to align with a party simply out of tradition. To her critics, she was seen as betraying the Black community, with accusations that she was undermining the progress of civil rights movements. Despite the backlash, Candace remained unflinching in her beliefs. She continued to advocate for individual liberty and economic empowerment, not just for Black Americans, but for all people. Her message was clear: empowerment comes through education, hard work, and taking responsibility for one's future. Candace Owens' public persona is characterized by her boldness, unwavering confidence, and willingness to take on anyone who disagrees with her. She has made a name for herself as a strong, unapologetic figure who will not shy away from controversy. Whether she's debating major political figures, speaking at conservative rallies, or sharing her views on social media, Candace's presence is unmistakable. Beyond politics, Candace leads a disciplined and active lifestyle. Known for her commitment to fitness, she regularly shares updates about her workouts and healthy living. Candace believes that mental and physical strength are interconnected, and she encourages her followers to prioritize their well-being. Her personal life is just as important to her as her career. Married to George Farmer, a British-American businessman, Candace has built a family while continuing to champion conservative values. The couple frequently appears in public together, and Candace often shares glimpses of her family life on social media. Like any public figure, Candace Owens has faced her fair share of criticism. Her outspoken views on issues such as race, identity politics, and social justice have made her a lightning rod for controversy. She has been called a traitor to the Black community for her criticisms of movements like Black Lives Matter and her stance on police brutality. Yet Candace has always remained steadfast in her beliefs, often using her critics as fuel to further her cause. She argues that the left has hijacked the narrative surrounding race, and that the key to progress lies in personal responsibility and rejecting the victim mentality. While many conservatives have embraced Candace as a powerful voice for change, her detractors accuse her of betraying the very people she claims to support. Still, Candace continues to stand her ground unapologetically. Candace Owens' influence on the conservative movement cannot be understated. Through her public speaking engagements, media appearances, and social media presence, she has helped to redefine what it means to be a conservative in America. She has challenged the status quo, forced people to rethink their views on race and identity, and opened the door for more diverse voices within the conservative movement. Her books, podcasts, and appearances at major conservative conferences have solidified her as a key figure in modern American politics. She has become a leader, not just for the right wing, but for anyone who values free speech, personal responsibility, and the power of individual liberty. Candace Owens continues to shape the future of American politics. As she expands her platform and pushes forward with her mission, there's no telling what's next for this unapologetic and fearless figure. Whether you agree with her views or not, Candace Owens has carved out a place for herself in history as a trailblazer, an advocate, and a force to be reckoned with. As we look to the future, it's clear that Candace Owens will continue to be a key player in the ongoing dialogue about race, politics, and the future of America.